couldn't leave this stage without saying to you that corruption is not an issue that occupies the front of my mind. I couldn't leave here today and say to you that we still need to tighten up on the new anti-corruption systems and framework that is in place. In a sense, if you were to compare Jamaica to all the other countries in the Caribbean, our framework for anti-corruption would be the most advanced. It is not for want of putting in the legislative and institutional processes. They are there. But you have to bear in mind that we are also very new on the scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
A major legal battle is looming between Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the Integrity Commission over the non-certification of his income and assets for 2021, 2022 and 2023. Mr. Holness applied to the Supreme Court on September 30 for permission to seek a judicial review of the IC's August 2024 report into his financial affairs. A judicial review allows the court to scrutinize the processes used by a public authority to make decisions. He ultimately wants the court to reject the report as what he calls unlawful, unfair and premised on an unconstitutional provision in a law. The three applicants are Mr. Holness, his company Imperium Investments Holding Limited and related entities Positive Media Solutions Limited and Positive Jamaica Foundation. The respondents are two senior executives of the Commission, Director of Information and Complaints Craig Beresford, Director of Investigation Kevin Stevenson, and the Commission itself. Mr. Holness says the report was intended to embarrass and harm him by suggesting criminal and unethical conduct by him and his connected companies. Mr. Holness has asked the Supreme Court to strike down sections of an anti-corruption law that the Integrity Commission uses to probe public officials for illicit enrichment. He alleges that parts of Section 14 of the Corruption Prevention Act are unconstitutional because they reverse the burden of proof and force public servants to explain if their assets are disproportionate to their lawful earnings. If Mr. Holness is successful, there could be implications for the 8 lawmakers that the Integrity Commission says are being investigated for illicit enrichment. Mr. Holness also wants the court to strike down the Integrity Commission Act, which was approved by Parliament under his administration in 2017. He said the act should go because of its alleged lack of fairness, impartiality and independence. The Commission's report covered a 15-month investigation into Mr. Holness's 2021 income filings. The Director of Investigation said he could not conclude on the issue of illicit enrichment because Mr. Holness refused to provide details of his expenses for the period 2019 to 2022.
What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.